In the previous episode, Green Sword reassured the group, declaring, "Don't worry, I'll protect everyone." At the same time, the blue-haired girl warned urgently, "The magic gem is reacting strongly. A large number of life forms are approaching us." Moving forward, Green Sword announced they had been discovered. A horde of goblins was advancing toward them, weapons drawn. Drawing back his cactus-like sword, he instructed the others to ready themselves for battle. As the goblins charged, the teams steeled themselves for combat. However, they had underestimated their opponents. The pink-haired elf, once so confident, was swiftly defeated and badly injured. In disbelief, he thought, how could these barbaric goblins, who lack any understanding of magic, overpower us so easily? Spotting him still alive, a goblin mercilessly ended his life. One by one, the entire team fell. Even Green Sword, who had spoken so boldly, was killed, and the powerful yellow mentor met a brutal end, his head severed from his body. Only the mage girl remained. The goblins captured her, their intentions evident as they circled her with saliva dripping from their mouths. The goblin leader, licking blood from his weapon, grinned and commanded, "Let's begin." Terrified, the mage girl pleaded for mercy, but the goblins moved closer, tearing at her clothes as she screamed for release. Then, the unexpected happened. The goblin leader, who had defeated the entire Green Sword adventurer team, lay lifeless on the ground, his body limp and discarded like a broken doll. The mage girl, who had moments before begged for her life, now stood in control, her expression cold. She had wrested the dark gear from the goblin's body. With a slight smile, she murmured, "Adding a bit of excitement makes things less dull, but no matter how fierce a barbarian is, he's as obedient as a dog in front of me. How boring." Pressing the dark gear to her chest, she absorbed its power, revealing herself as Ruth Bader, one of the 6 pillars of the Dark Guild and a level 5-star demon sovereign. The infusion of the dark gear allowed her to break through to the next realm. Just then, sensing a hidden presence, she spoke sharply, "You've seen enough. Show yourself." Stepping forward was the Lord of the Sea of Darkness, Aatho, cloaked in his sinister aura. Transforming into his human form, he approached Ruth and remarked, "If you desire the dark gear's power, there's no need to conceal your identity and pursue the seeds of Malfoy. I can grant it to you on one condition." Ruth smirked and replied, "I've noticed you and the president aren't exactly close. Are you suggesting a betrayal of the guild?" She attempted to ensnare him with her fatal attraction, but Aatho remained unfazed. "Don't waste your magic," he replied coolly. "I have no interest in your ambitions, and I have no desire to betray Malfoy." Ruth Bader, surprised, asked Aatho, "So, what exactly do you want me to do for you?" She thought to herself, "My charm can even confuse those at the Demon Lord level. Could he be at the Demon King level at least?" But she quickly dismissed the thought and said, "I haven't even reached the Demon Lord level myself. How can I be of any help to you, Lord Aatho?" Aatho laughed. "You're such a cunning woman. Are you afraid I can't give you terms that would be to your satisfaction?" He continued, "The dark gear is merely a transitional tool. If you sign a contract with me, I can grant you power tenfold." As he spoke, a chaotic energy surged from his mouth. This chaotic power is sufficient to allow you to skip the Demon Lord level entirely and ascend directly to the Demon King level. It's equivalent to absorbing over 1,000 dark gears. Your charms are indeed unique, which is why I chose you. But I won't force you. You may decide for yourself. Ruth Bader was stunned by his offer. If I absorb this chaotic power, I could directly ascend to the Demon King level? She pondered the proposition, considering the weight of Aatho's offer. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, in Leping's garden, he tended to his crops. He had just planted the 5-element pea in his field, and marveled at the magic of this world. The magical world truly is wondrous, he thought. These plants seem to understand human nature, unlike anything I grow back home. He then gathered some fresh vegetables and thought it was time to head back. What Leping didn't realize was that the 5-element pea was no ordinary plant. As he walked away, the pea began to feel anxious, sensing the watchful stares of the other plants. Back inside, Leping asked, "Elizabeth, would you like some freshly picked apples?" Elizabeth, lounging on the couch and munching on snacks, replied, "Apples aren't as good as snacks." Leping, a bit concerned, said, "You know you shouldn't eat too much of that stuff. I'll go make lunch." But Elizabeth ignored him, popping open a carbonated drink and sipping it, looking downcast. Leping couldn't help but notice. What's gotten into her? She's been so down ever since we returned from the elf tribe. After a long sip, Elizabeth angrily smashed the empty bottle. Leping, bewildered, wondered, did I offend her somehow? Is she disappointed in me as a hero? I have no magic, and I can't wield a sword. Maybe she thinks I'm a dull student for not meeting her expectations, he thought carefully, shaking his head. No, that's not right. Even if I can't learn magic or swordsmanship, I've done my best to unite forces outside to resist the Dark Guild. Even if I borrowed her name to do so, it's still a small achievement. Meanwhile, Elizabeth was fuming, thinking, ridiculous. How can Leping be above the rules? If that's true, what was the point of all the pain I endured in training? She forced herself to calm down, reflecting, whatever, it's pointless. Maybe I'm just a stepping stone for him to become famous, but he doesn't even care about fame. If he wanted it, he wouldn't be here. Maybe it's me overestimating my own abilities. With a sigh, she thought, no matter how hard I try, I can't surpass him. I might as well just give up. She slumped back onto the couch, recalling her past as the Demon Queen, when she once ruled the world. What use is my strength as a 7-star demon god now, she wondered. Maybe it's better to just enjoy life. Watching her from the kitchen, Leping observed her unusual mood swings, unhappy, irritable, anxious, lazy, and constantly snacking. Could it be? He wondered. Is she on her period? But I've lived with her for over a year and never noticed symptoms like this. Well, this magical world does make it normal for a demon queen to differ from humans, he thought to himself. Leping then announced, "Lunch is ready. Come and eat." Elizabeth joined him at the dining table. Her mood visibly lifted at the sight of curry rice. "This isn't all I made," Leping said with a smile. "I also prepared a stew for you." Elizabeth looked at him with mild curiosity. "What stew?" she asked, but her attention remained on the curry rice as she began eating. After finishing, she stood up, saying, "You can eat the stew yourself. I'm going back to my snacks." "Wait," Leping said, gesturing toward the stew. "Just give it a try." As he lifted the lid, a bright golden light and a wonderful aroma filled the air. "This dish is red dates, eggs, and tremella soup," he explained. "I stewed it in brown sugar water. It may not be as refreshing as pudding, but it's good for you." Elizabeth, intrigued, sat back down. Leping took a spoonful, blew on it to cool it, and offered it to her. "Here, give it a try," he urged with a smile. Suspicious, Elizabeth thought. Is he trying to poison me? But Leping's earnest expression softened her doubt, and she finally took a bite. As she did, she found herself transported to an unfamiliar place. Stunned, she thought, is this an illusion, a hot spring? Looking around, she realized she was in what could only be described as a brown sugar hot spring. To her surprise, she wasn't alone. Beside her were Auntie Egg, Granny Red Date, and Miss Tremella. Granny Red Date smiled warmly and said, "The brown sugar hot spring is excellent for your blood circulation and restoring your strength. Now, let us provide you with our special one-stop service." Elizabeth, bewildered, wondered, what kind of service are they talking about? Miss Tremella smiled at Elizabeth and said, "Of course. This is a full-body massage spa service to nourish your yin and beautify your skin." The three attendants gently covered Elizabeth with a towel, lifted her out of the hot spring, and carefully laid her down. Surprised and confused, Elizabeth asked, "What on earth do you intend to do?" "Don't worry," Miss Tremella reassured her. "Just relax. I'll start with a hand massage. Close your eyes and enjoy." As Miss Tremella began massaging her hands, Elizabeth felt a wave of relaxation wash over her. Her hands felt so good that she couldn't pull them away. Auntie Egg chimed in, "Hand massages can calm a person instantly, removing any resistance." Elizabeth's body felt light and relaxed, as if the rules of the magical realm were at work. Auntie Egg added, "My egg liquid back massage will make your skin as smooth as mine." Elizabeth wanted to resist, but the pleasure was overwhelming, and she found herself unable to. As the two continued their massage, Granny Red Date stepped forward. "It's my turn now," she announced. "Granny Red Date," Auntie Egg said with a laugh. "She's not relaxed yet. Isn't it a bit soon for you to jump in? But her foundation is strong. She should be able to handle it." Hearing this, Elizabeth felt a pang of concern. Isn't this just a massage? Looking at that trembling old woman, I doubt she can do much. But her thoughts were interrupted as Granny Red Date stretched her arms, transforming from a frail elder into a muscular powerhouse. Looking as if she could rival a warrior. Shocked, Elizabeth stared in disbelief. Granny Red Date looked at her with a determined glint and said, "I won't hold back." "Don't be afraid," Auntie Egg said reassuringly. "Granny Red Date's foot massage can open up your meridians and improve your blood circulation." With that, Granny Red Date grabbed Elizabeth's leg and used her ultimate technique, sending a jolt of sensation through Elizabeth, who cried out from the intensity. Miss Tremella, a level 9-star saint, infused yin energy into Elizabeth's body, while Auntie Egg, an 11-star saint, enhanced her skin's radiance, and Granny Red Date, a 17-star saint, replenished her blood circulation. Elizabeth's entire body felt revitalized, and with a final surge, she broke through to the 8-star demon god realm. Back in the real world, Leing noticed her slightly rosy complexion and asked, "How do you feel? Do you feel warmer now?" Thinking to himself, "Her face does seem a little flushed. I hope it helped." Elizabeth slowly opened her eyes, remaining silent. Concerned, Leing asked, "Elizabeth, are you okay? Was the taste too different to handle?" In Elizabeth's mind, however, she imagined Leing saying, "I can help you level up using the rule's power, but you'll still never catch up to me. The gap between us is so vast that there's nothing you can do." Determined yet unable to change the situation, Elizabeth replied, "The rules have spoken. It doesn't matter what I eat. The outcome remains the same." Leing, noticing her reluctance, said gently, "All right then. Rest up. I won't disturb you." Reflecting to himself, the rules are indeed powerful, and it seems the food therapy wasn't as effective as I'd hoped.